Alexis, since what you were talking about is kind of a lighter thing, do you want to go ahead and start with that about the old, the promotion this month or whatever?
Yeah, so just so everyone knows, and we're saying this because it's October 1st and everyone's LRPs are going to start renewing here. You know how there's like a promotion every month? This month's promotion is the following. Let me grab it. Okay, so if you place a 200 PV order anywhere in the month of October, you'll receive 3 free 15 milliliter oils, which is crazy because normally we only get 1. Those are Serenity, Citrus Bliss, and Balance. Just wanted to throw that out there. And I'll post this to the DeCOPO page so everyone's aware of that too. Crystal, you're muted.
Can you mute Emma?
Mm-hmm.
Is that all? Are you done?
You're going.
Okay. So I guess whoever, Alexis and Danny, you guys can chime in. Matt, can you mute yourself, please? Can everybody make sure you're on mute so it stops echoing? There are a few things we're going to discuss about recent changes that have happened. I don't know if any of you guys watched the video on the Team H2 Oils page. AdCoop is done. It's not going to be a thing anymore. They have basically their rotator did not work. They're refunding everything from like the last 3 months. And they're not moving forward with the rotator anymore. If you guys are in, I think Alexis and Danny are in agreement. If you're in any of our downlines, it would be wise to go ahead and cancel AdCoop. It's not really doing you a whole lot of good to stay in it right now. If you want to grab your leads out of the back office, that would be a good idea. And there are a couple of things that we found out have gone on or will be going on. And I think it's important that you guys know this because the foundation that we all want to build our business on is honesty and integrity. We all obviously bought into this system thinking that, you know, it was something good to do. It was in the beginning and we knew there would be some problems, but we expected it to get better over time. We definitely didn't expect it to crash and burn over 6 months. We only knew as much as we were told by the people that brought us in, as far as building strategies, which we'll get into that as well, LRPs, you know, what was being done with the rotator and the leads. We only really knew as much as we were told. And over the past couple weeks, we've come to learn that some of the things we were told were not necessarily 100% true. And they've officially announced that they're not doing the rotator anymore. I personally have asked Justin Connell some specific questions about AdCoop and what their plans are. They are planning to still have a system in the future. It's on the back burner for now, just so you guys know. But in the future, they plan to have a system to where they just teach you the tools and resources to build an online business, not necessarily a system that you can use and implement. You know, basically what we sold in the beginning is not going to exist. So I think first and foremost, you guys should know that. The reason I say grab your leads out of the back office is because some of the uplines in AdCoop are a part of a couple of different offers. I know that it hasn't been done thus far, but I know that the plan is to eventually use whatever system they're going to build to benefit 2 separate offers, not just doTERRA. For that reason, I think it's important that everybody has access to their leads and get their leads so that your leads aren't necessarily used to benefit someone in another offer that you're not a part of. That was a big thing for me. So you guys, that's one thing, is make sure you get your leads. I would advise you to cancel AdCoop. I know if you are on auto renew, it's not renewing right now. They're canceling. It's sending a message failure to everyone who's on auto renew for AdCoop. And from what Justin Connell said, over the next few weeks, they're going to be refunding all shares. And I don't know about the monthly fees, but at least I'll add Rotator shares from the last 3 months. So moving forward.
It's only Rotator shares. Jim
Okay.
Hicks confirmed that $17.99 not going to be refunded.
Okay. So I know that everybody's wondering, okay, so what's the plan moving forward? And we bought into a system that is no longer going to be available. So what do we do with our business now? And we're about to answer those questions. So one of the things that we found out was that there is a completely different way of building. Now, if you're on either one of our teams, we've already showed you guys the video that Jessie Riemer made where she builds differently, how she builds one leg at a time down versus building for power of 3. Debbie, have you seen that video also? Okay. That's a much better way of building, like, overall, versus trying to build for power of 3 and having, one person that doesn't pay an LRP, or having a group of people that have to keep an LRP at 150 for X amount of time until their downlines get built. Not very many people, I won't say not very many, not everyone was having a lot of success building that way. And it was kind of screwing us up a lot when, one person would not renew an LRP and it would affect the entire level. And that's definitely not really a great strategy to have. If you're in this for the long haul and you get, 6 tiers down and you have someone on level 2 that didn't do an LRP, and that's the only thing you're counting on, then you're kind of screwed. So the new way of building, I won't say new, I guess it's not new, it's new to us because we were just shown it, would be a much more beneficial way to build for everyone, I believe. And then now we're going to talk about LRPs and how to bring people in from this point forward. I think a couple of us have, certain things that we're aiming for, and other of us have a little different opinions of how things should go. But we can discuss all the options because we want to be transparent with you guys, and we can tell you guys the benefits and the risk of using both options. And again, we debated for a while whether or not to, go into detail about, both of these options, because one of them does carry a little bit of risk, and we don't want this to be the option for everyone you bring in. But we do need to be transparent, and I think everyone needs to know what all the options are, just being completely honest, because we weren't told what all of our options were coming into this, and we didn't know until now. And so from this point forward, we would like for everyone to know what all of their options are.
Can I really quickly, before you jump into the different options, quickly cover what people's options are if they find anyone at all who wants to buy product from doTERRA, and then go back to you until you have them tell you, or you have gosh darn it, have you tell everyone what the options are as far as LRPs and that kind of thing.
It wasn't about LRPs, it was how to bring people in.
Same, at what status do you bring someone in at? Are you going to cover that?
Wellness advocate, yeah.
Okay, you aren't going to touch on retail customers at all?
You can talk about that if you like, but there's really no point in bringing someone in as a retail customer.
That's not our goal, but I know that there's some people who really are very adamant on becoming those kind of distributors or buyers, I guess. So I think it's worth at least touching on so that everyone knows that it's a thing. I don't know if everyone knows that that's...
As far as building purposes, it's not a thing because you can't place anyone below that. So I'm strictly talking about building right now.
Okay. You can touch on whatever you want to. I think we should bring up retail customers too, though. Okay,
well, if you want to very quickly go over retail customers, you can do that. But as far as building,
yeah,
it's not an option to build with a retail customer. So
okay, so really quickly, I'll touch on this. Retail, when you basically find someone who wants to buy doTERRA product, there are options coming in. There's 3 different statuses they can come in at: retail customer, wholesale customer, and wellness advocate. Retail customers are one of the options that someone can come in at, but that does not allow them to at all distribute the product. These are solely for people who want to buy the product. These people are buying the product at a retail cost. So if any one of you find someone who is really interested in the product, they're not interested in the business per se, they don't really want it at a discount, they don't want it at wholesale cost, they'd rather pay the 25% marked up price of retail, they can become your retail customer. If any of you have these already in your back office that look like black diamonds, and they should go right, you should see them right underneath you. For those of you who are aware that we all as wellness advocates have a doTERRA website that doTERRA gives us. That's our affiliate link that we can give someone, and people who click on that link and make a purchase through our affiliate doTERRA link, those are our retail customers. Just so we're clear, those people are paying retail price and we are making 25% on those people. With retail customers, only their upline, aka the person who gave them the doTERRA affiliate link, makes 25% on their order. These people cannot have a downline. You physically cannot, try to sign someone up as a wellness advocate underneath a retail customer. And these people should always stay on your front line. So let's say I find Betty who wants to be my retail customer. There would literally be no incentive for me to ever place that person underneath one of my downlines. Like I would never give Betty Crystal's affiliate link. I would always keep that person for myself, and I would always make 25% off their order. These people in the future, if they do want to build, they do, find out like they're really loving the products, and now it doesn't make sense for them to buy it 25% above wholesale. They should just buy it wholesale. They can choose to become a wellness advocate or a wholesale customer, which is a different kind of status that you can have in doTERRA. But they have to go through the enrollment process. So at some point, if they decide they want to start buying at wholesale, they're going to have to go through the same process that we did coming in, which was clicking a link, choosing your country and an enrollment kit and all that kind of stuff. And that's what Crystal will talk about more right now. Any questions about that? If you do, go ahead and just unmute yourself.
All right, so to become a wholesale customer, they have to buy a kit. They don't just pay the $25 fee.
We're going to talk about all of that in a minute. She was just talking about retail customers, not wholesale customers.
I thought she mentioned wholesale. But
I did, because it was another status. Let me touch on wholesale customers really quickly too, Crystal, and then you can kind of cover WAs. I mean, they have pretty much the same requirements except for the one, which is, not building a team and not earning commission.
Okay, well, let's talk about all of that right now. Is there any questions on retail customers? No? Okay, can you mute Debbie into here?
Mm-hmm.
And Alexis, I know that you were in the chat with doTERRA, so if I mention anything incorrectly, will you jump in and clarify it?
Yes.
Okay. So there's wholesale customers and wellness advocate are the two other options aside from the retail customer. Whether you're coming in as a wholesale customer or a wellness advocate, there's a $35 charge. So you can come in as a wholesale customer and pay $35 for the year and get all the same discounts that we have, and you can put those people in your downline. However, you can't build up under them. Now, to come in as a wellness advocate, you can also bring someone as a wellness advocate in for the same $35. And you can build under those people. If you have someone in your downline that is a wholesale customer and they want to upgrade to a wellness advocate, it's literally a matter of putting in a social security number, right, Alexis, and changing the status in the back office from a wholesale customer to a wellness advocate. Now, like I said, you cannot build under wholesale customers. So if you have someone that would like to come in that's interested in possibly earning an income from doTERRA in the future, it would make more sense to put them as a wellness advocate than a wholesale customer, because it's literally the same cost as it is to be one as the other, if that makes sense. As far as the enrollment kits, and this is where a couple of people have different opinions on what you should do whenever you bring someone in. obviously we're in this to build a business, you know, and to make money. And if you're bringing a whole bunch of people in at $35, you're not going to make a lot of money initially by bringing them in with $35. They're also not going to have the experience of actually trying out some products, testing them for themselves, you know, figuring out a little bit more about the products if they're not familiar with it. So your goal should definitely be to try to get people in with some type of enrollment kit. However, like I said, the one option is to bring someone in at $35. And this is where we've kind of had some back and forth on what to do and how to promote the business. And I think I kind of wish Costa was on this call because he explained this really well, and Dave as well, about why you shouldn't initially offer the $35. But ultimately, it's going to be up to you. And these people are going to need to be under the understanding that they're in this to build a business. Like we are trying to place more people beneath them. We want them to be builders also. Like you'll want to have other builders on your team. You don't want to have a downline of 50 people who came in at $35 who claim to do nothing as far as the building goes. Does that make sense? Like if you have a downline of 50 or 30 people and they all come in at $35 and they're all sitting with no LRP in their cart for 3 months, you know, and don't plan to contribute to the business, that's not really benefiting anybody. No one's earning any money off of that, and that's not what we're in the business for. You know, we're in the business to promote the products, but also make money. That's our goal. And you can't make money with a whole downline of people sitting at 0 LRP and coming in at $35. But it is an option for them to come in that way. So if you're talking to someone, and we're going to try to work our hardest to develop, you know, a kind of script that you guys can either talk to people about over the phone, or you can send to people in messages that kind of first introduces, you know, like doTERRA and what we're doing online, and then, you know, talks about different enrollment kits, like giving them an option of 3 different enrollment kits. Like this enrollment kit includes this, includes this. Like one enrollment kit's $200, one's $150, you know, that kind of thing. And then having the conversation from there and filling it out. And if they're like, oh no, I can't afford that, you know, then discuss what the third option is. Okay, well, the third option is that you could come in at this with the understanding that these things need to happen in the future. Does that make sense for everybody? Like you obviously want to try and at least sell an enrollment kit first. You don't want to just be bringing in a massive downline of people for $35.
Can I really quickly cover Debbie's question? She asked, did the fee to join go up from 25 to 35? I thought it was on the doTERRA website 25. Okay, so what Crystal's talking about at $35, and I wish that we would refer to this as an enrollment kit, because it kind of is a kit. When we all became wellness advocates and we selected what enrollment kit we wanted to go with, we all pretty much did the Family Essentials kit. I know there was another one that was comparable. It was like 110 PV also, maybe in around $150, and it had a diffuser. So it had a diffuser and less oils. If you remember, with our kit, we got a booklet. I actually have mine right here, which I'll grab. But this $35 option that Crystal's talking about is in the options in your enrollment kits to choose from. It is simply the booklet that came with our products. So if you want, it's possible to come in as a wellness advocate at only $35, and you're literally getting a booklet in the mail with no product. Steven just did this with someone the other day, correct?
I did it with 2 people, and if you choose economy shipping, after shipping and taxes, it's $41.
Okay,
it's
so
like
yeah.
$40.94.
Right. Okay, so this is an option, and again, this is something what Crystal just said. We did not know this was an option coming in because we were all told enrollment kits at $150 coming in. Okay, this is an option though. $35 for a booklet.
And the reason that told $150 was because they're strictly the power of 3, and they
right.
want to come in at $150 and stay at $150.
Right.
Building on that strategy. There is a number, like a product number for the book, Alexis. Did you snapshot that, or Steve, do you have that?
You can get
no, I didn't grab it, but I
Okay,
might
I
be able
have
to
it.
find it.
I have it in my messages. But one of the things is we're going to be working on updating all of the files in doCOPO this week. Alexis, Danny, myself, and a couple more people are going to be working on updating all the files with all of this new material. So the actual number you need to order the enrollment kit at $35 will be in there, the product number.
Another thing, another thing with that is with the product, if anyone chooses to go this route, they can, if they want, put product on top of that, so that when they get their enrollment kit, which is the booklet, they can also get some product. So let's say there's someone who is really adamant on getting frankincense and lavender, but they don't really want to buy a kit of $150 worth of products that they're not going to use or really know what to do with. They can, by all means, get this $35 booklet, frankincense, and lavender. One more thing. Oh, so the renewal that we're talking about, Debbie, there is a $25 renewal fee that every wholesale customer and wellness advocate is charged once a year around the time of their enrollment. None of us have paid that yet because we haven't been in for a year, but $25 is the fee that you're referring to that you saw. So that is still $25. What we're talking about is a $35 enrollment kit for new people joining. Any questions with that?
And how that works is, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever you're signing someone up and you click the Wellness Advocate button, you have to add something to the cart, but you have to at least include the $35 enrollment booklet. So that's the absolute bare minimum that someone can come in from. And this could also be a part of your sales pitch, you know, if the people are not wanting to buy an enrollment kit, that they want to come in at the $35 and they say, okay, well, I've been having the X issue, like I've been having trouble sleeping. Are there oils that you guys have for that? This would be a chance for you to promote a little something on top of their $35, you know, to try and earn you some commission and kind of cater it to each person's needs. Like if they have asthma, you know, promote this and have them add that to their order. If they have sleep problems, you know, add Serenity or whatever and add that to their order. But there's definitely a couple of different options you guys can go with to kind of try and increase that $35 if you're trying to earn commission, because obviously we're in sales. But I think everyone needs to be aware of all of their options and not just, you know, you guys thinking that everyone has to be brought in at 150, everybody has to stay at 150, because that's not a requirement. That's what one set group of people wanted to do to accomplish, you know, their goal. And it's not, I mean, that's not entirely the truth, because there are so many options. Okay, Alexis, do you have anything else to say, not on LRPs, but like as far as enrollment? Danny, do you have anything to say about enrolling that way or anything?
Just the only thing with enrolling, I know that we're not really shooting for the whole power of 3 thing, which is keeping everyone at 150 coming in and keeping up a 150. The only other thing that you're kind of missing out on if you bring in someone that $35 route is the fast start bonus, because keep in mind, is it for the first 60 days or 90 days, Christian, Danny, or anyone, for fast start bonuses?
It's for their first 60 days.
Okay, so if someone comes in with an enrollment kit of only this booklet, by the way, this is what it is for everyone who knows. It's the living, sharing, and building doTERRA, and then it has the booklet. So it's the 4 thing with the little stickers in it too, these things. This, if someone comes in with simply this, this would be their month 1, and then month 2 would be whatever. Keep in mind that this month 1 and their month 2 is the only fast start bonus that they're, Stephen?
No, fast start is paid on their full first 60 days.
Right, so like if
so it's every week for 60 days. It's
right.
not regulated by month until they're past their first 60 days. So their first 30, that first $35,
yeah,
if they don't place any more order within the first week, that would count as their first week.
Correct. So I'm basically saying that you would be making a fast start bonus on this $35 booklet or anything from there on. So one of the downsides to bringing someone in the cheap way, you know, at $35 and not making them, and, you know, keep in mind, because we're about to cover this more, not making them keep up an LRP of X amount, you in turn are making less money in their first 60 days. I mean, so however you want to look at this, I mean, obviously when we were brought in at 150 and everyone was making as much fast start as they possibly could on us. So
Okay.
you're missing out on that part, but go on.
The first thing, whenever you bring someone in, and this was a big controversy in the beginning too, that a lot of people went back and forth with, is whenever you enroll someone, gifting those enrollments or keeping those enrollments. Meaning, if I put someone under Steve, I would list Steve as the enroller in the beginning, and that's how I was building. We also did not know everything there was to know about gifting your enrollments and keeping your enrollments. And with this new way of building, it's extremely important, extremely, that you keep all enrollments and not gift those. And the reasons why, my issue has always been, like, don't tell me to do something without giving me a reason why. So I'm going to tell you the reasons why. One of the reasons is because as you rank up and as you enroll more people, there are certain bonuses that come over time the more people you enroll. One of those bonuses is $1,000, one is $5,000, one is $10,000. If you're giving away all of your enrollments, you're never going to get those bonuses in your future. Number two, and this is the most important, is because, Alexis, you're probably going to have to chime in on some of this, but we started noticing over this last week that there were some people within our tree that were turned green. They turned into wholesale customers when they were initially wellness advocates. Now, all they had to do to go back and switch that in their back office was literally just a click of a button. It wasn't anything, difficult or a long drawn out process to become a wellness advocate again. Now, after that happens, you then have 14 days to move that person again if you are the enroller. If you're not the enroller, you can't move them. You would have to get in touch with whoever you let have the enroller, and then you would have to get their permission to move that person. So if anything happens within your tree, or you have someone that's gone inactive and you know they're not going to be building the business anymore, and that person, someone turns green and you switch them back, and then you want to move them from under the inactive person, you don't need to go through the inactive person to get their permission to move them. You can automatically move them yourself if you were the enroller. So that's the biggest thing with keeping your enrollments. Now, as far as when people are switched from wellness advocates to wholesale customers automatically by doTERRA, Alexis, can you go over all of that?
Yeah, so I found out, and again, these are the green people in your back office. These can be green people because they came in as wholesale customers. Again, I don't know why you'd want to bring someone in as a wholesale customer, or they could have been people who were wellness advocates that got downgraded. doTERRA's system will once in a while go through the system automatically and downgrade people. I asked why would this have happened, and one thing I realized is that all of these people in my downline specifically that were green, they had no one below them. So one thing I realized is that if they have not acquired a downline, whether they haven't brought someone in or someone has not placed someone below them, that's one reason why they could be downgraded. Also, if they haven't earned commission in a year. So that's one reason why someone who was purple could become green. Like Crystal said, the fix is very easy. If they were a wellness advocate, that person who got downgraded has to go into their back office. No one can do this for them. And they have to turn the switch on. If you guys have noticed, when we got signed up with doTERRA, we went through something called like mydoterra.com, and we had a mydoTERRA back office. We are in the process of being switched to doterra.com. So based on what your account looks like right now, like your back office, we're being switched over, and there's different areas. If this has happened to you, or if there's someone in your downline that you'd like to help become a wellness advocate again, there's different areas to go to become upgraded again to a wellness advocate. I have the directions right here. If anyone needs them, they can contact me or I'll post them. This will go in files eventually, but if you want to get this taken care of sooner than later, then let me know. And like Crystal said, the enroller is the one that can then request the sponsor change of that person. So if you, as a person who is downgraded, you go in and you fix your status, you immediately become a wellness advocate again. The change is immediately in the back office, and whoever has enrolled that person can then request the sponsor change, aka change the upline, like the placement of where they're at.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about enrollership or any of that? Okay, Alexis, go ahead, Debbie. She's muted.
We're talking. Okay. What's the difference between an enroller and a sponsor?
An enroller, do you remember when we all signed up, we all clicked a link to get started?
Yes.
When we clicked that link, there was a 7-digit ID at the end of the link. And when we moved forward in our pages, we saw that so-and-so was our enroller.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a sponsor area. And basically the difference is that the enroller gets credit for recruiting the person. The sponsor is the person who we get placed underneath. So Debbie, who brought you into doTERRA?
My daughter.
Okay. Are you also her downline? Like, is she right above you? Okay, so in that case, she was the enroller because she found you and she should have kept her enrollment. And she's also your sponsor because she's your direct upline. So just remember, a sponsor is like the direct upline.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next area that we're going to talk about are LRPs and what to do with your, Danny, what to do with your LRPs from this point forward. So this is kind of, I know several different people are going to have all sorts of different strategies. I know Danny has his goals of how he wants to do this. Alexis has hers. I have mine. We're kind of all, you know, just trying to figure out what the best option is, but letting you guys know what all the options are and why one is important or whatnot. So you found out, Alexis, that someone can, if they wanted to stay a wellness advocate, they for $35, they would have to place one LRP within a year, right?
Let me get back to my notes.
Like to remain a wellness advocate, it was like one LRP within a year's time, which we've all done because we've all been placing an LRP month. Okay. So to remain a wellness advocate, that's what you have to do. You do have to place an order of one LRP within a year's time. Now, in order to earn commissions, you have to have an active LRP of 100 PV in order to be earning commission. So if you have a lot of people that are, you know, sitting that you've built under, and they've got a downline built, but they're not able to earn any commissions because they're not keeping up an LRP of 100, then they're basically in the business for nothing. They have to have an order of 100 in order to earn commissions on any of their downlines. I mean, the same for each of you. We all have to have an order of 100 if we want to earn commissions on our downlines. The thing that makes this way of building a little bit different is that it gives us a little bit more leeway with our LRPs and what we can do. Before it was 150, no matter what, you know, don't skip them up, and it doesn't matter how long it takes to get your downline built, you still have to keep up 150. With the new way of building, it's kind of structured so that when you bring everyone in, even if they don't plan on keeping an LRP at 100 every single month, that they're under the understanding that we're going to be constantly building their downline. In order to eventually earn commissions on those downlines, they're going to need to get their LRP at 100. They're not going to need to stay dormant for a year with no LRP but one throughout the year. No one can make money that way, and it's just not a good way to build. What I'm doing kind of over the next couple months with my personal downlines is I'm letting them know that they do not necessarily have to keep up an LRP of 100. If they want to lower their LRP to 50, like if they are going through a hard time because they've been paying 150 a month for X amount of months and they're kind of struggling right now, and they don't want to place an LRP next month, I don't care. You know, it really doesn't matter. But they are under the understanding, or need to be under the understanding, that they're not going to earn any commissions if they don't have an LRP of 100. Now, several people don't have any downlines yet, so that's not an issue for them. And they're going to say, well, I don't have any downlines right now. Why do I need to keep an order of 100? And the truth is they don't. If they don't have any downlines, they don't have to keep an order of 100 PV every month. And you want to be finding people that are in this for the long haul. So with that said, you want to make sure that you explain very well when you bring someone in, whether that's at $35 or $150, and you don't set up an LRP. Say you don't set up an LRP for that person when you bring them in at $35 because it's not required. And they come in and you say, okay, you don't have to pay any LRP for the next 2 months. We're going to be working on building your team. You need to be working on building your team so that we can get you a downline and you can start earning commissions. And then at that point, you're going to need to up your order to 100. Now, between now and then, if you have some oils you want to test out, put in an order for, whatever oils you want to test out. You're not required to keep a minimum right now. The only reason that you're required to keep a minimum is to earn commission. Now, there are a couple of things that happen when you don't keep an LRP, and Alexis, you can talk about that, right?
Yeah, I was about to touch on that. Go ahead, Stephen, with your question or comment.
No, all I gotta say is just remind your people that they don't have to set their LRP up to go through every month. You can place a one-time LRP order.
Sorry, I'm sick. Okay, yeah, that's okay. And I'm gonna touch on that really fast here. Okay, so these things that I'm about to go over are for wellness advocates. I might as well throw it out there and say they're also for wholesale customers. Again, why do we want to bring someone in at a wholesale customer? I don't know. I would definitely push someone toward a wellness advocate because the requirements are exactly the same. And yeah, and there's a downside to wholesale customers, and that's you can't build underneath them. So why bring someone in as one of those? Wellness advocates. doTERRA sees these people as intending to build a team and making commissions, even if not right away. So their SOCH is required when they sign up. There's a $25 yearly fee charged on the date of the enrollment every year, which we already said. This goes for wholesale customers too. There's no LRP required. There's no minimum order amount required. They can even drop to 0 PV, which is what Crystal just said. If someone doesn't want to place an order 1 month, then whatever. One thing that you should know about that is if you decided at any time to drop to 0 PV, as in not place an order at all that month, these are the repercussions. 1, if they have an LRP already established, they must call or get on a chat with doTERRA to cancel it. You can't physically drop an LRP to 0 because they'll give you a notice that says you have to have something in your cart. So in order to cancel an LRP, which is a recurring order, you have to call and cancel it or get on a chat. Second thing is that you're going to lose all your acquired LRP points up until that point. An LRP point, for those of you that don't know, is points that we have racked up because we've been placing orders with doTERRA. We came in at 150, and so, sorry, hold on a second. We came in at 150, and because we did, we earned 10% on each of our orders that we placed from here on out. So for every $150 order that we've placed, we earn 15 points about that. Okay, so 10% on each order is what you've racked up. LRP points are sitting in your back office. These are what you use to redeem.
You're not talking about 10% as in dollars. You're talking about 10% as in points, right?
Yes, sorry. So not dollars. Every one of your 150 around there orders has a PV value. So you're earning 10% of that PV in LRP points. And those are sitting in your back office. You can redeem those for free product. But let's say you have a bunch racked up. If at any point you decide to drop to 0 PV in any given month, you lose those points. So what I'm basically telling you is spend them prior. And just so you guys know, when you redeem your LRP points sitting in your back office, there's a $3 charge every time you do that. Whether you redeem 10 LRP points or 500 LRP points, you're going to be charged $3. So the smart way for me, it seems like, is to rack them up and then spend them in one swing. And you want to obviously redeem them before dropping to 0, which means if you want to hold on to them, place at least some kind of an order every month. The other thing about wellness advocates, let's see here, is just placing an order by the time of renewal. So 1 order each month, which you already covered, or else your account is suspended and goes inactive. And then really quickly with LRP, I'll just mention these are some benchmarks to remember when you're placing an LRP order. In order to earn those LRP points that we just talked about, your LRP PV amount needs to be at least 50. If you order $45 worth, like 40 PV in an LRP, you're not going to earn the 10% LRP points on that. You'll still keep your LRP points because you bought something, but you're not going to earn LRP points on that specific order of 50 or less. Another thing, Crystal already said, you have to be at a 100 PV recurring LRP to earn commissions in any given month. And then something that we might have forgotten about is to earn any free product in any given month, you have to have an LRP at 125. I don't know. And I mean, for me, if I'm at least going to be placing a 100 PV order for commission, I personally am going to up it to 125 because usually the free product is worth $25 or more. So whatever it's worth to you.
Like the free product this month with the 200, that's worth quite a bit because that's 3 15 milliliter bottles. And normally they're the 5 milliliter that comes with, say, that pack that includes those 3 plus the deep blue. Those are normally the 5 milliliter. And at the 5 milliliters, the price for that pack is $59. So obviously the fact that there are 15 milliliters, that's a lot more that you're getting free.
Mhm.
That you can either try for yourself or you can turn around and sell and make a little bit of extra profit on. So it's completely up to you, you know, if you care about the free products or if you don't. Those kinds of things are completely up to you.
Mhm.
Alexis, do you have anything else that goes with like maintaining an LRP of that and reasons?
No, I guess the only other thing I gotta say is if somebody is complaining about having to maintain an LRP, lemon's $10.
Mhm.
You just just put lemon in your LRP order and you're good.
Mhm.
And then if somebody doesn't want to order something for say 3 months, then they want to order something, they just add it with their lemon and then they take it out and they're good to go. I mean,
Yep.
economy shipping is $3.99, so that's less than $14 a month to
Mhm.
maintain active.
And there's products that are even less than that. Go to the whole spa section and there's bars of soap, you know, like
Yeah.
there's toothpaste, for God's sake, you know? So, I mean, it's totally possible to order, I feel like, less than $10 or around $10 a month, you know, for an LRP.
I was trying to think if there was anything else on LRPs. I don't think so, other than the fact that, Stephen, I know you've brought in a couple of people this week at the $35, 2 people. I am bringing in several people over the next 2 weeks with that method, but these are people that I know personally, that I know I will be able to keep in constant contact with, that have asked me about the business previously, but not been able to keep up an order of 150 a month. And they're under the complete understanding that when I tell them that they have a downline built and they need to up their order to 100 to start earning commissions, they're going to do that. So I think though all of those factors are really important if you do bring someone in at $35 who doesn't plan to maintain a higher LRP every month, is just make sure that those are people that you will be able to reach out and get in contact with and say, hey, you know, you have a downline built, you need to start upping your order to 100 so that you can earn commissions on those, if that's one of the strategies that you're choosing to implement. Now, obviously, if you're bringing people in and telling them they have to keep a 100 LRP every month no matter what, then that's not really going to matter. I personally am not doing that. I'm not telling someone that they have to do that because they don't have to. But like I said, I'm going to be able to get in contact with these people. I know that, and I know I'm not going to have any issues when the time comes telling them they need to up it to 100. So just think about all of those things when you guys start bringing people in that way. Because like I said, obviously we don't want to bring in everyone that way, but it is an option that you guys have.
And for me, guys, I had a real issue with billing this way in the beginning, and it was because I really wasn't asking the right questions. I don't know if it was just the delivery wasn't there by who was getting it to me or what, but it took me talking to like 4 or 5 people to really understand the strategy, and now I think this is by far the best strategy that there is. So if this whole $35 thing in the way that LRP is being maintained, get muted. So if you guys have any questions about this, like try and get a different perspective from somebody else about it who understands what it is, because it really caused a lot of unnecessary stress and conflict with people who were close to me for no reason, because I just didn't understand. And now that I do,
Right.
things are really, my motivation towards this business is totally done a 180, and I'm back on the game.
And I hope that's how a lot of you feel. I don't know. I mean, again, this Jessie Riemers video, I can tell you honestly that I was in a little bit of a slump, and I was like totally rejuvenated after watching this video. Like, I never thought that a 30-minute video on building doTERRA would like totally flip my mindset about it. But I feel like the sky is the limit. Not that it wasn't before, but like this opens up so much opportunity for people to jump in. And if you look at it as a long-term thing, it really has a lot of potential. And then all these other things we're learning about, like, wellness advocates becoming wholesale customers. What a coincidence that we're just now learning about this right when we learned about a whole new way of building. When you literally can have someone be downgraded and then brought back up to wellness advocate and then have 14 days to move them around. Like that's a workaround that we didn't even know about. And now we're learning a whole new way of building. So look at the way that all this stuff is coming together. And I hope that you guys are really inspired and super motivated and excited like I am.
Debbie, I know you missed a little bit, but we talked about LRPs. So make sure you catch the replay so you can go over that. Okay. The next thing, if no one has any questions about LRP, is I know that without AdCoop and without us promoting a system online, you guys are probably wondering, like, what are the plans moving forward for some of us, and what your plan should be moving forward. Sorry, I had a message. And here's what we've come up with so far. Now there is one option that's available to some of you right now, or will be available to you guys today. Alexis, it will be available today. I'm talking about Dave DeRemer's thing. When is he cutting it off? Today? Okay. Okay. And
Tomorrow.
I'm
It's going on. He's taking shares tomorrow too.
okay, cool. Okay, this is one option. I said I wasn't really going to pitch this because I've pitched something before and it's failed drastically, and I don't want to pitch something that hasn't been tested with multiple people in it like this. So this is just kind of a short-term, oh, by the way, this person is testing this and he's offered it to more people if you guys want to be in the testing process of it. It ultimately is not the only thing we're aiming for long-term, and we'll go into all of that in just a second. But Dave DeRemer, he kind of broke away from AdCoop a little bit ago, maybe a month or so ago, when he started learning about these things prior to all of us knowing about all of this. He lost trust in the Rotator because, it was getting paused and things like that. So what he is doing, and he's had a lot of success with this with his own personal downline, is he is allowing his downlines to pay him like $100 share. Out of that, $60 of that goes into an ad budget, and $40 he's keeping as a management fee to basically run ads for people and bring in leads. Now, he is getting a lot of leads. As far as how many of those leads convert into sales into doTERRA, we don't have numbers on yet. But I do know that he's getting a lot of leads with the $100 that he's using for each person.
Steven has probably some specs.
Yeah, I've got numbers for that. His lead conversion is like 10 to 20% for them to call him, to get into his messenger and everything. And then it's 10 to 30% sign up for doTERRA. So with them numbers, for $100, you could probably average 2 people a month.
Okay.
And that's if they stay consistent.
Now he's only doing 50 shares right now. This is the first time. What he changed it to 100. Okay, so he's doing 100 shares. I'm sorry, you have to go in. I'm on a call.
Danny, do you have something?
Don't know, I'm on a call.
Yeah, I just want to.
Sorry, my son walked out.
Those numbers that Steven has, those are off of the ad spend that he has now too, without, the ad spend that he's going to be getting from releasing it to everybody outside of his downline, which now it's an incredible number, you know, so far. I got sharing because I believe in Dave DeRemer. I believe in his integrity. I believe that he's completely transparent. He may not be the guy that everybody likes, but he definitely tells you what's going on, and exactly he has nothing to hide. So I love Dave DeRemer for that.
So he's doing 100 shares for the month of October. He's not taking any money for future shares or anything like that, and he's strictly testing. It's not even, I'm not even going to say it's a rotator because it's not a rotator. He is running manual ads, and then he's distributing leads with the people that have shares from that. It's not like a rotator to where it's automatically cycled through people. And if you guys are interested in joining, you know, that, we can send you a message that he sent out that kind of explains the process of when people click on his ads and then when they register, kind of what happens from there. They're not directed to a webinar or anything like that. You're basically handing your leads to manage and things like that. But I'm not going to go into that a whole lot right now. This is something that just was brought up to us this week. This is the first month that's going to be tested. If you are interested in purchasing a share for this month, he's cutting that off tomorrow. So you would need.
We'll have him do a live from the page. We'll have him explain how it works, and so everybody can have a real understanding of how it works from the person doing it.
Right.
He also did a live today inviting people, you know, about it, because now that MyAdCoop Rotator is finally shut down and it's publicly announced, he has done a live from his own page. So Dave DeRemer is the guy you want to talk to. He's also super transparent. If you are interested in his rotator, he wants to even talk to you personally before he puts you in the group that all of us are in, you know, all of us who are buying shares for this. He wants to talk to you, answer all your questions, be super transparent. So reach out to him personally. If you have any questions, you can talk to us too, but I mean, he's the guy himself, so shoot him a message.
Another thing, okay, after Dave DeRemer's funnel, kind of what our plan is moving forward. Some of you I may have talked to about this, about the possibility of us developing a funnel and a system that would be available for everybody to use. This would be something that there's not a monthly fee for, like AdCoop or anything like that. It would be a resource for you guys to use. The option to have your own URL links, you know, where you direct people to such and such, whether that's, we're not really going to probably do the whole webinar ordeal, but rather maybe have a series of videos or something along those lines that kind of explain everything from start to finish, give people the different options of enrolling and that kind of thing. Now, obviously, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. We're all kind of putting our heads together, and we've got some really good people that are on the team working to do this. I don't know if you guys, like Danny said, Dave DeRemer, Costa McKay. I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. He is having massive results with his own. He brings in, I don't even know how many people a week into doTERRA, and he brings them all in, you know, with the enrollment kit and keeping up an LRP. Steve, do you have something to say?
Yeah, the last time I talked to Costa, he was averaging one person a day.
Yeah, he brings in, he does really good, and he runs ads. Now, he spends a lot of money on his ads. Like, he's in the ballpark of $60 to $80 a day on what he does with his ads, but he's bringing in massive amounts of people because he has converting ads, and the funnel that he's using, that he's created, you know, through ClickFunnels and things like that. He's using, he has a specific way of how he brings people in. It's not directing them to a webinar or anything like that, but where everything's explained, they come in, and he's having a lot of success with that. Danny, I think Dave said he couldn't be on this call today. He has.
I just talked to him. He said send him the Zoom link. Everybody okay with that?
We're not really going to discuss his stuff, his rotator, because
Just so he could explain it.
And we have a lot more stuff to discuss.
Okay.
So
Well,
he can do the go live about his stuff, but we don't really need him to go into a lot of detail with that on this call. So the long-term goal, like I said, Costa's running his own ads and he's having a lot of success. Dave DeRemer is running his own ads and he's having a lot of success. The two types of ads that they run are completely different. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dave's ads. They're kind of like cartoons. So it appears like a cartoon that pops up different little characters, and then, you know, it has script that scrolls across the screen. And it is focused a lot on the business opportunity. His ads are focused a lot on the business opportunity, not so much products. And Costa's ads are different because they focus more on product versus just strictly the business opportunity. And one thing that I've heard from a couple of different people is that Facebook is really cracking down on the type of ads that you run. And if you're not mentioning products in your ads and you're strictly promoting like get rich online or, you know, things like that, and not mentioning any products and stuff, they're really cracking down on that, and they're seeing a lot more of it. There's a lot more businesses that are going online, a lot more that are not necessarily legit, and so they're starting to crack down drastically on ads that are not focused on product. And so for the long-term goal, obviously it's to have ads that are focused more on product and the actual offer that don't really hide what we're working with and expose, you know, the products and things like that. What Costa is doing is kind of similar to what Dave's doing. Dave has opened these shares up to, you know, more than just his downline right now. Costa's doing this for his downline only. Like they'll pay him $100, and versus leads, he's giving them sales for that $100. Like, you know, if they pay $100, then they get X amount of sales with that $100 for the work. Dave, like I said, has just kind of started his, and so he's distributing leads right now. So I think that as far as a long-term goal with, like I said, the people that we all have that know what they know about running ads and have conversions that people like Dave and Costa have, people that are really honest, that I personally know we can trust. I mean, I know you guys may not know them that well, but I feel like a lot of us have put our trust into a lot of people we don't really know. We've kind of had that trust broken by several things, but I can promise you that Dave and Costa are legit people. I can promise you that none of us are going to lie to you guys. We're going to be transparent, like I told you guys. We have given you all of your options and told you reasons as to why you have, you know, each option, and why some are beneficial and some are not, so that you guys do know everything up front. And so I think with the collaboration of all of the people that are going to be involved with the future, that we can put together something really great. Obviously, it's going to take time, and us as leaders have only met a couple of times to even discuss this. Stephen, I know you're on my team, and Emma, and I told you guys we were in the process of building a funnel like 2 months ago. Well, what happened with that was it was myself, Carrie, Chris Johnson, and Costa, and Chris kind of left us, and pretty much a lot of things were in Chris's name as far as all of the programs we were using that we had kind of paid for to start this, and it was pretty close to completion, and he kind of bailed. And so everything that we had in a sense worked on just kind of flew out the door. But I'm glad that happened, honestly. I'm glad that nothing got finished there and nothing got brought up, because knowing what we know now, obviously whatever we build will be completely different from what we were doing. But the goal is to offer you guys, you know, training and all of the resources you need to be able to build your business without the use of, you know, something like MyAdCoop or, you know, and things like that, and to really harp in on training you guys how to do everything.
Can I have Dave come out really quick and just explain? We kind of touched on your Rotator and the opportunity that you're showing or giving people. We told them to message you if they have any interest in joining, and that it goes out this month, tomorrow, and you're shutting shares down and stuff soon. So if you could just like touch really quick on like what you're offering, that'd be perfect.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, first things first, we have every single one of us, including me, kind of been through the ringer with the MyAdCoop thing. So for those of you who don't know anything about it, if you're hesitant or skeptical, I get it, okay? Because you've been told to have faith for 6 months, and that faith has got you nowhere. So I'll just give you a little bit of background. Being a career marketer myself, I kind of, and it's not that I'm an expert or anything, but I kind of saw the whole ad co-op thing coming, which ultimately got me removed and banned from the page because I started questioning them on things that I knew about that many of you didn't know. You were asking, but you didn't know how to ask in a certain way that I did. And it ultimately got me removed from the page because they couldn't answer the questions that, you know, they ultimately have now had to answer for, which is why they had to shut it down. But during the course of all that, I've been pretty successful on my own. And I think where people were misled was the ad co-op leadership misled people when they would bring my name up into thinking that my success was due to the ad co-op, which it was not. I had one conversion from ad co-op, and that's it, of my 100+ people that I had in my 3 months. Okay, so I've only been doing this for a few months, guys, just like the rest of you. So my success came from doing everything on my own. So anything that I was saying in the page about anything I was doing was to let people know that, hey, you don't have to just simply rely on this ad co-op. You can do this on your own. So during the course of that, I built a lot of great relationships with people. And with that success came, hey, what are you doing? I need help here. I'm lost. The ad co-op's not helping me, whatever. And I decided long ago with my own team to have them all quit, opt out of the co-op, quit your shares, and we would do our own thing. That way, I could provide full transparency to them on ads and leads and shares and their money and our rotator and get the answers that they were not getting with the ad co-op and people they didn't know and obviously came to not trust. When I started doing that, we started having success. My team in September, we just closed it last night, some of them had 2 and 3 times more leads in the first week than they had in 6 months with the ad co-op. So we did very, very well. And that was on a budget that was 1% of what the ad co-op had. Okay, so that should give you some sort of indication on what we knew or did not know or were told or not told. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Moving forward in a positive direction, with that success, I was like, I'm getting all these messages. I want to help all these people. Why not try to run another rotator, a little smaller, a little more manageable, a little less confusion, with incorporating all the things that I had done, with all the suggestions that I had provided to those guys that they were not taking into consideration. Why not do that for all these people that are coming to me like, hey, what can we do? So that's what I decided to do. And that's how this whole thing was kind of, how it kind of came about. So pretty much it's very, very simple. And it's kind of taking a collaboration of my 20+ years of marketing plus every single comment, question, concern, and everything that I saw as admin of the ad co-op page, as when I finally got smart to what everybody was asking, and I started, you know, my shift came to started questioning leadership instead of telling everybody just be patient, because we all got sick and tired of hearing those 2 words after a while. Be patient. I made it very, very simple. When I created my rotator, I made it very, very simple. It's a little bit of work because it's manual, but it's very simple. So I created ads, which a lot of you have seen already. I put them out. So when people click on an ad, they go directly to a landing page. You know, the standard sort of, hey, find out how people are leveraging the internet to earn an income landing page. Okay. When they click on that and to opt in, one of the things that I added in there was an optional telephone number. One of the suggestions I made to Jim and Dalton and Justin was add a phone number in there, because I kind of inadvertently, because I was getting coaching calls. Okay, one of my coaching calls that came through the Setmore account through the ad co-op, when they scheduled the appointment, they had to leave a phone number. So what did I do in my very first one? I texted that person and said, hey, just saw you sign up for an appointment with me on Saturday. just wanted to welcome you to whatever. They responded back, and I enrolled them before they even talked to me on the phone. We didn't even talk on the phone. They texted me back. We got talking on Facebook after we exchanged information, and that was my one conversion. So that got me thinking, man, if they would just add a phone number and you get a lead and you have a phone number and you can text them and make it more personal, maybe this will work. Well, adding phone numbers to the landing page won't work. It'll decrease conversions, was what I was told. So that never came to play. I can tell you that of 179 total leads that my team had for the month, probably, I haven't figured out the numbers, between 80 to 90% of the people who were leads left a phone number. And it wasn't mandatory for them to do that to continue. That name, first name, last name, email was mandatory, phone number was optional, and it said optional. But 80 to 90% of them left a phone number. So what that was doing was enabling my team to have another way to reach out to them and touch base with them and say, hey, I'm a normal person. Oh, by the way, here's my Facebook Messenger link. If you're on Facebook and you want to chat, let me know. Boom. So that's what we did. And that's what I've done in this particular rotator. So you get to the landing page, you opt in, leave name, first name, last name, phone number, immediate. Everything is instant. There's no annoying email autoresponders of network marketers talking about themselves to hear themselves talk about themselves. It is simply, sorry, I had to. It is simply click on the button, opt in, then the buttons take me to my workshop. Boom, click, goes to a landing page where there is my workshop, not theirs. It's not linked to AdCoop at all. It goes to a workshop that I've done that stresses the Jessie Riemers way of doing things with 100 PV, not 150. And now we're, Crystal, I don't know if she's talked to you guys about the new $35 thing, but now, I may even do another one and it'll be seamless so I can swap that out and it'll still continue running with ads if you're already in my rotator. But it has nothing to do with 150, nothing to do with AdCoop, nothing to do with the way they told us to build before. And then below that, there's a green button. And this gives people that are in this new rotator, gives them another layer of getting a lead where it's a button. And you got to remember, it was for my team. So I was doing all the coaching calls. It's a button that says, click here to connect instantly to your coach. If they watch it and they're like, dang, I want to find out more about this, or I want to get started now, they click on that. It goes directly to my Facebook Messenger. And if they're like, hey, I just watched your ad, whatever, then I engage with them. And if they decide that they want to join, then I would take that person. I would email my team, or message my team, okay, Jane Doe, I just talked to her on Messenger. Whose lead is this? And then, one of my girls says, hey, it's mine. Okay, boom. Here's her info. Go enroll her.
Dave is going to do a go live. We don't want to spend like half of this call talking about his rotator because it's not something we're pushing, just so everyone understands that. It's in this testing phase. So I personally don't want to push something that we haven't tested ourselves first. And Alexis and Danny and a couple more people have shared. And Dave already plans to do a go live like here shortly on the page that explains all the ins and outs of his funnels. So I want this to be about like us, how we're building, and about the future goals and stuff like that. Now that's kind of like a side option right now. His little thing he has going is a side option for a limited amount of people to test. But he is going to do a go live that explains all of like the ins and outs of that in detail on the doCOPO page. He just sent me a message and said that he's going to go ahead and do the go live on the page since there's only a couple of people on here anyways. And if someone needs to refer back to that to get information about his, they don't have to scroll through an hour and a half of video to necessarily get this information. So it would just be better if he does that in a go live. But also, we were talking about future direction prior to that, and I wasn't quite finished, and I want to finish in the 6 minutes that I have before I have to go. So people like Dave and people like Costa, obviously, like I said, they have converting ads. They know what they're doing. A couple of different ones of us have other things that we can bring to the table to contribute to, the overall growth of a system, like having, and I say system, it's going to be more like a training site with different things you can implement into your business. Like there will be different plugins implemented into this in the future where you guys can have your own affiliate links and things like that. But this is not something that I'm going to say, hey, we'll have this completely done for you guys in a month and everything will be good to go, because I don't want to make false promises, and it's going to take a while to actually get everything created correctly. And we're not even actually discussing like a rotator or anything like that right now. There's no need to. I think we need to be training leaders and builders and training people to be able to, you know, build this business themselves and learn all the ins and outs. But that is the direction that we want to take in the future. And then, you know, if something like, if Dave continues to have a lot of success with what he's doing, and Costa continues to have a lot of success with what he's doing, then maybe the two of them can team together and be, you know, this is just, we haven't all discussed this. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Maybe those two could team together, you know, to come up with something similar to like a rotator to offer to more, you know, more people and have more shares in and things like that. But again, that's all like in the future, and but it is a plan, like a direction that we would like to take in the future, having something for you guys all to use, so that you're not just relying on one person to run ads for you and you don't know how to build this business, and you're just, I know a lot of people came into ad co-op wanting to strictly sit and ride the wave and wait on rotators to work and wait on sales to be dropped beneath them and things like that. The goal is to not have people reliant on something like just a rotator, you know, or just coming in and sitting and waiting for their downlines to be built. You want people who are in this for the long term, who are going to be building the business, who know how to build and market online, and you learn all those tools for yourself. And you're able to teach those tools to other people. So that's kind of all I have to say about the future direction. Like I said, Dave, he said he's going to do a go live that kind of explains everything about his funnel, or not what he's doing with the leads and his own personal ads. Alexis is going to talk about doCOPO and kind of revamping the files and things like that. So I'm going to have to hop off here in about 3 minutes. But does anyone have any questions, you know, before I hop off about anything we've talked about this far? Okay. And also, you guys, if you have any questions, you can message any one of us, like Danny, Alexis, myself, Dave, you know, even Costa. Message people who have already been building this way, kind of pick their brain and get ideas about what they're doing. I know Dave's kind of been building with the Jessie Reamer structure for a little bit now. I'm not sure exactly how long. I know Costa's been building that way for a little bit now. I'm not sure exactly how long, but a couple of months. So if you would like to pick their brain, or you would like to know a little bit more or have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to any of those people or any of us to answer anything. And that's pretty much all I have to discuss today. And you guys can go from here.
I just want to encourage you guys, if you have any questions, even if there's something that we've said that you're like, you have a little bit of a red flag about, please, please, please mention it, because we are in the learning phase just as much as you are. And we want to be able to learn, whether it be from doTERRA or from someone like Dave or Costa, who's been, you know, building this way for a while. We want to make sure that we understand it so that we can relay this information to the whole team if necessary, just so everyone's on the same page. Like, please ask questions. The only thing with doCOPO, and Danny, you and I can talk about this really quick, doCOPO is going to be expanding to more than just our downline. Initially, it was created for Crystal's downline, my downline, Danny's downline, and it kind of just blew up from there. Debbie, what are you saying here? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it kind of just blew up from there. Barbara, I can never say her last name. Someone help me. Anyways, Barbara is our upline, and she has even like her downline that, I mean, hasn't been in doCOPO at all, is now joining. There's people who are just random on other legs. I really see doCOPO becoming not the new MyAdCoop, but for all those people who are in MyAdCoop who are still very serious about building their doTERRA business and still very passionate about it, I really feel like doCOPO could be the doTERRA communication portal that it was meant to be from the very beginning, helping people who need direction or who need resources. So we are going to be revamping all the files. If you guys have never been in the file section, it's in there on the page. If you're on your phone, you have to go to the page and then go to more info, I believe. I'm going to try this really fast. Yeah, you have to click info, and then you'll see the file section down there. You just click files. There are tons of files in there. Right now they're geared toward MyAdCoop and the Rotator and all that kind of stuff. So we have to go in and take that out. We're going to be adding new files about new building strategy and all that kind of stuff. This will hopefully be a page for everyone to refer to, like I said, anyone who's new. And my plan personally is, even if I am bringing in someone the cheap way at $35 and they're not really, even if there's someone who's not really intending to be a builder at this moment but could be down the road, I don't care. I'm going to be adding them to doCOPO because I believe in preventative maintenance and giving people the solutions and the resources they need right from the beginning, instead of, oh, here, you never got added, here, I'll add you to this page right now, and then having them play catch up. I want to give them everything they need right from the beginning. Danny, I think
Right. I don't know if you guys follow who John and Nadia Melton are, but I mean, they have a thing called ATM, add, tag, and message, which is having a group page that you add people to, tag them in the pin posts, and message them directly, and talk about what it is that they're going to, if they have any questions, you know, really connecting with them on a personal level. So you're not just somebody who, you know, presented an offer to them, invite them to a page, and then let them get lost. I believe doCOPO should be that. That's what I've been doing from the start. A lot of people, there's been some people who say not to do that, but I want to be as transparent as possible. And you know, people are going to they're going to get the notifications from the group posting to the group page. So they're always going to be reminded that they showed an interest in something. So when it comes time to them wanting to join, they're going to remember who they reached out to, who they found it from, and you know, they'll already know more than you originally explained because they've been a part of that group page. Does that make sense? So that's something that I have an intention for, the group page.
In order to reach out.
Yeah, that was all I was going to say, is that there's many people joining doCOPO from not even our leg, not even your upline or your downline. So, I mean, this page is open to anyone. If you guys know anyone who's in MyAdCoop who has lost hope in it, obviously the Rotator's down for good. So at this given moment, if they, you know, don't have a lot of faith in whatever it has to offer at this point, if they need more help, please feel free to add them to doCOPO. Let them know that those files are being revamped heavily revamped right now. So they're not much to refer to right now, but again, they're in the process of being fixed. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, this has gone on for like over an hour and we can be done.
Hey, Alexis.
Hi.
I know you can't see me right now, but I just wanted to, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say really quick that I don't want anyone to look at this as like what we bought into, crashed and burned, and we don't have a future with doTERRA. I want you guys to look at this as a new beginning, and we're moving forward with like a better way and giving you guys better tools to work with, rather than, you know, just false promises that we don't intend to keep. We would never say, like, you guys are on your own now, we're not going to offer you anything, just go build your businesses for yourselves. That's obviously not what our goal is. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
And Debbie said in here that she doesn't know how to make her own ads. She'd love help with that. That's the kind of stuff that we want to be putting into doCOPO. Anything that AdCoop could have given us, we want to not steal from them, but we want to take that and recreate our own, so that any resources that you would pay MyAdCoop for, that you'd have here. Okay, so like you're already coming to one place, a doTERRA communication portal, a central hub for everything that you could need for this business. So that is in the works, and we wrote that down as far as making videos for that. Any other questions or comments?
This is a comment for you and Danny, Alexis.
Okay.
Can you guys make sure before this video is posted to the page that you go through the admin list and do that?
I just did that.
Okay, cool.
Like, yeah, I'll talk to you about that. But yeah, guys, so, you know, we really are a team, and it's not just a bunch of leaders who are getting together to direct this thing. I really want you guys to be involved as much as possible too. So if there's anything anybody can bring to the table, please do it. We're all an expert in our own fields. You know, we all have our own interests and our own view of where we want to take this business. And I feel like if we all come together, we could really, you know, reach some limits that nobody thought we could as a whole. So that's all I got, guys. You're muted. You're muted.
I said, okay, I'm going to end this, you guys. We're going to post these. I'm going to mesh these 3 videos together and post them to the doCOPO page. Again, feel free to invite anyone you need to this page. We are open for business, open to help, open for support. Wahoo, we are a team. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.